Our story begins in a shadowed field beneath a brooding sky, where the person with short dark hair and cloak calls out to a girl named Yona. She turns toward him, her expression filled with worry and disbelief as she insists, "That's impossible. You can't do it?" The boy with short dark hair laughs innocently, raising his hand as if to drive away the small demons threatening them. Nearby, Yona looks on with a worried, despairing expression, uncertain about what will happen next. The boy with short dark hair extends his hand, shouting "Flam," as a fiery spell bursts forth from a glowing magical circle. Yona kneels nearby, her expression a mix of surprise and concern as the flames ignite in the darkened space. The intensity of the moment is clear as magic crackles between them. The boy sits quietly on his bed, absorbed in reading a book, his expression somber and thoughtful. Nearby, the older man with light hair watches him with concern, as if discussing the boy's fragile health. The room feels heavy with unspoken worries about the boy's illness and his longing for a distant, legendary place. Yonatan sits on his bed, clutching a book with a determined and hopeful expression. In his mind, he sees a gentle image of his mother smiling warmly at him. He quietly promises to do his best, drawing strength from her memory. Yonatan Langheim sits on his bed, deeply engrossed in a book from the stack brought to him by the maid. She stands nearby, patiently waiting as he examines the new volumes with a thoughtful expression. The quiet bedroom scene reflects their calm, studious moment together. Yonatan Langheim studies an ancient book intently, his eyes scanning the intricate magical symbols. He contemplates the possibility of using magic to control his own body and finally rise from bed. The quiet determination in his expression reveals his hope to overcome his current limitations. Yonatan Langheim studies an ancient text late into the night, his expression filled with hope and determination. Months of relentless research on ancient magic have brought him closer to understanding its secrets. He silently vows to seize any chance to put his newfound knowledge to use. Yonatan Langheim bursts with excitement as he triumphantly announces his success in manipulating objects with marionette magic. He experiments by moving a feather effortlessly, and then attempts to control his own body using the newfound power. His face shines with determination and surprise as he pushes the limits of his magical abilities. Yonatan Langheim takes a tentative step forward, a mix of determination and nervousness in his eyes. He resolves to tell his family everything and fulfill his mother's wish, finally feeling the freedom to move on his own. Yonatan Langheim nervously steps into the room, calling out his name as he faces the older man seated at the desk. The older man looks up in surprise, his expression shifting to recognition as he utters, "Could it be Yonatan?" The moment is charged with quiet anticipation, marking a significant reunion. The older man firmly tells the boy he is interrupting his work and insists he return to his room. The boy looks apologetic, admitting that he was bedridden and did not mean to disturb him. The tense atmosphere highlights the strict expectations placed on the boy. Yonatan Langheim, sword in hand, defends himself fiercely but is knocked down during training. The person with short light hair, holding a sword confidently, tells him that his younger brother, Lord Siegbert, can handle this level of training with ease. The tension between them highlights Yonatan's struggle to keep up. Sieg, the proud older brother holding his sword, tells the younger brother that he's in the way. The younger brother, looking apologetic and respectful, thanks Sieg for his guidance before quietly walking away. The tension between them is clear as Sieg asserts his confidence. The man with curly light hair speaks seriously to Yonatan Langheim about Lord Siegbert's upcoming birthday and the perfect chance to make an official announcement. Yonatan listens attentively and responds with a simple, confident, yes. Nearby, the person with curly light hair smiles slightly, observing the exchange. Yonatan Langheim stands calmly indoors, resolutely announcing that Siegbert will be the next head of the Langheim house. He reflects on the significance of this decision as the moon shines outside the mansion's window. Yonatan Langheim nervously knocks on a door at night, holding a lantern as he waits for a response. The man with light hair, dressed in a vest and shirt, opens the door and looks at him seriously. The quiet street and horse carriage set a tense atmosphere for their encounter. Yonatan Langheim greets Dr. Gunther with a hopeful smile, politely asking to be examined again despite his recent struggles. Dr. Gunther looks worried and serious, expressing concern about Yonatan's swollen eyes and questioning whether he is truly recovered. The tension between Yonatan's determination and the doctor's caution fills the room. The older man urgently pleads for Lord Jonathan's healing to be completed, offering all the money he has to continue treatment. The stern man in the cloak dismisses the doctor's competence but ultimately agrees to do everything he can despite his limited strength. Nearby, a hopeful young boy watches the exchange, underscoring the tense atmosphere surrounding Lord Jonathan's condition. Yonatan Langheim sits attentively, asking the older man with light hair if the results from his last tests are ready. The older man, serious and contemplative, prepares to explain and questions whether Yonatan fully understands his current condition. The atmosphere is tense, underscoring the importance of the medical evaluation. The young boy with short dark hair solemnly explains the illness called mana overload, describing how it prevents movement of the body. The older man with light hair stands nearby, urging him to remain strong at heart despite the lack of any signs of recovery. The atmosphere is tense but filled with quiet determination. Dr. Gunther solemnly informs Lord Yonatan Langheim that his condition leaves him with at most 1 year to live. The gravity of the news hangs heavily in the air, underscored by the dark, somber background. The boy with the dark hood walks alone down a moonlit cobblestone street, his wide eyes reflecting a sudden shock. Inside, Yonatan Langheim stands quietly, watching through a window as the night unfolds outside. The contrast between the solitary figure outside and the calm observer within sets a tense, somber mood. The young boy with short dark hair sits quietly on his bed, lost in thought as he gazes downward. The room is dimly lit, with a large window revealing the castle exterior outside. The weight of recent events lingers in the stillness surrounding him. Yonatan Langheim sits quietly on his bed, hugging his knees as he contemplates the book with a dragon emblem resting in his hands. The room is calm and still, reflecting his thoughtful and somber mood. Alone in his chamber, he seems lost in deep reflection. The boy with the dark cloak arrives, carrying a suitcase as he enters the room. A woman standing behind the table apologizes for keeping him waiting, while a seated woman with curly hair remarks that he is late. Siegbert sits at the table, watching the exchange with a serious expression. Siegbert sternly questions the young man about his unusual attire, reminding him to endure his responsibilities as the eldest son. The young man, wearing a cloak with a high collar, calmly replies that today is his birthday. Nearby, a woman with curly light hair sits at the table, mentioning Siegbert's upcoming birthday party and urging punctuality. Yonatan Langheim sorrowfully confesses that his birthday feels like a reminder of being a burden rather than a celebration. Siegbert, visibly frustrated, angrily interrupts him, declaring that he has had enough of such despair. Nearby, concerned family members watch the tense exchange unfold. Yonatan Langheim, holding a suitcase and smiling politely, apologizes for causing any unpleasantness before the party and announces that he will now excuse himself. The young man with dark hair, wearing his cloak, stands silently with his back turned, bidding farewell to Lady Hertha, young Master Siegbert, and His Grace, the Duke of Langheim. His calm expression hints at a quiet resolve as he prepares to part ways. The moment carries a solemn weight, marking a poignant goodbye. The older man with light hair expresses concern to the boy about arriving late and neglecting his medicine. The boy, holding a cup and saucer, responds with a nervous but polite smile, thanking him and beginning to explain. The quiet tension between them fills the room as night settles outside. The young man, determined yet slightly smiling, reveals his decision to embark on a journey and requests a year's supply of medicine. The older man, shocked and deeply worried, warns him that traveling would be suicide given his condition. Tension fills the room as the gravity of the choice sinks in. The older man asks if the Duke of Langheim is aware of the boy's condition. The boy calmly replies that he has not told the Duke and wishes to live freely for the 1 year he has left, confident the Duke wouldn't care. After hearing this, the older man turns and walks away, leaving the boy deep in thought. Yona firmly declares that he no longer wishes to be called Lord Yonatan of the Langheim family, asking to be addressed simply as Yona. The older man with light hair listens attentively and accepts Yona's decision with a gentle smile. He then begins to explain matters concerning the medicine, showing his continued care despite the change in Yona's status. The man with short dark hair reassures Yonatan Langheim not to worry about money for his journey, presenting him with a protective charm as a birthday gift. Yonatan looks surprised and deeply touched by the kind gesture. The older man with light hair watches calmly, adding to the warm atmosphere in the room. The man with short dark hair embraces Yonatan Langheim in a warm, comforting hug, offering silent reassurance. Yonatan closes his eyes, visibly moved and relieved by the gesture. This tender moment speaks volumes about their bond amid the uncertainty ahead. The older man gently waves goodbye, reminding the young traveler to eat well and keep warm on his journey. The boy smiles brightly, cheerfully assuring him that he's heard the advice many times before. Their warm farewell takes place outside under the night sky, marking the start of the boy's adventure. The young boy in the cloak asks the friendly young man if the carriage is headed west. Smiling warmly, the man tips his hat and offers the boy a ride, inviting him to join the journey. The village street hums quietly as this unexpected kindness unfolds. Our story continues as the young boy with the cloak sits quietly on a bench, clutching a marionette figurine in his hands. Though exhaustion weighs on him, He steels his resolve to press onward with his journey. Nearby, Yonatan Langheim stands determined, silently supporting the boy's decision to move forward despite the hardships. The young boy with the dark cloak, holding a book, confides that he has only 1 year left to live and wishes to visit the legendary places described in his favorite story. The boy with curly light hair, dressed ornately, reassures him that they are nearly at their destination as the carriage continues its journey. The sun casts a warm glow over a peaceful rural landscape, with fields stretching toward distant barns and a windmill turning gently in the breeze. The beauty of the scene inspires a quiet sense of awe and wonder. This tranquil moment hints at the beginning of a new journey through these serene lands. Siegbert kindly hands the young boy a protective token, assuring him it will help if he encounters trouble on his journey. The boy looks up with a grateful smile, deeply appreciating the thoughtful gift. This moment strengthens their bond as the boy prepares to face the road ahead alone. The boy with the cloak looks back thoughtfully as the smiling boy with the hat and scarf waves him goodbye. He contemplates finding an inn to rest and sleep on a real bed after their journey. The cobblestone street and trees set a peaceful daytime scene for their farewell. Yona firmly asks the young boy where he came from, demanding his attention. The boy, slightly surprised but composed, explains that he is traveling alone from Zantberg to visit relatives. The two stand outside on a street lined with trees and carts, the conversation marking a key moment in the boy's journey. The older man calmly asks Yona if she's meddling again, while Yona cheerfully introduces herself as Margarite to the shy boy, noting he came all the way alone. The boy nervously replies that he's fine and shares his name as Yona. With a warm smile, Margarite invites him to come along, saying, "Now then, let's go." Lady Margarite, with a confident and slightly proud tone, orders the young boy to hurry and take a bath first, noting how dirty he must be after his long journey. The boy, looking nervous and apologetic, stammers his agreement. An older man stands quietly behind them, observing the exchange. Yona smiles warmly as she praises the young boy's eyes, comparing them to a pitch-black night sky and calling them beautiful. The boy blushes in surprise, touched by the first genuine compliment he's ever received. The young boy shyly thanks Yona for her kindness and requests not to be treated like a child. Smiling warmly, Yona reassures him that helping troubled children is a lady's duty and there's nothing to worry about. Their gentle exchange deepens the bond between them in the quiet room. Yona playfully asks Hans what he thinks about her just turning 12. Sparking a lively exchange, Hans insists he should be taller than her, but Yona challenges his claim with a confident smile. The older man calmly observes that Yona is actually a little taller, adding to the friendly banter. Yona gently urges the young boy to eat heartily so he can grow taller, showing her kindness. The boy, still shy, wonders aloud why she is being so kind to a stranger like him. Their quiet conversation takes place across a dining table set for a meal, highlighting a moment of warmth and trust. Yona nervously explains to the young boy that she is a noble, and that showing kindness to commoners is only natural. The boy responds uncertainly, processing her words. Suddenly, Siegbert enters the room and addresses Yona, who calls out to him warmly as father. The older man with light hair stands quietly behind Siegbert, observing the scene. Yona cheerfully introduces herself while the young boy with the scarf expresses his gratitude for her care. A man with light curly hair, dressed in ornate clothing, warmly welcomes Yona to the Hagenberg household, acknowledging her journey. The atmosphere is friendly and inviting as they gather indoors by a window-lit table. Yona gently asks the young boy about his parents. Sensing the weight behind his story, he quietly reveals that he has no parents, his sadness evident. The young man with light hair offers a sympathetic remark, acknowledging that some things are difficult to talk about, while Yona inquires how the boy managed to live in the imperial capital, prompting a hesitant pause from him. Yona tells the man with light hair that she plans to help find the young boy's relative's house tomorrow morning. The man agrees to assist and says he must return to work, wishing Yona and the boy an enjoyable meal. Yona responds enthusiastically, ready to move forward with her plan. Yona sits thoughtfully, quietly affirming with a gentle yes. The young boy listens attentively, his expression calm but slightly surprised. The room feels calm as their conversation lingers in the air. The young boy with dark hair walks alongside Yona and the older man through the town streets, his expression troubled as he reflects on the harsh truth. There is no relative's house for him here. The boy's thoughts also linger on the townsfolk's cold attitude toward Lady Margarite, deepening his worry. Meanwhile, Yona and the older man continue their steady pace, unaware of the boy's inner turmoil. Kurt suddenly throws a rock toward the group, his face set with determination. The older man in the vest instinctively raises his arm to block the attack, while the curly-haired girl pleads desperately for forgiveness on Kurt's behalf. Yona looks on, surprised and serious, caught off guard by the unexpected action. Kurt angrily shouts, "Go home!" with fierce determination, his voice cutting through the tense air. The boy with short dark hair looks on thoughtfully, troubled by the hostility. Meanwhile, Yona's shocked expression reveals her distress as the gathered townsfolk voice their bitter complaints about the suffering caused by the nobles. Yona calmly raises her hand to stop the older man from summoning the guards, apologizing and suggesting they return for today. The boy in the sailor outfit quietly agrees with a soft yes. The older man looks serious but listens as Yona takes charge of the situation. The older man with light hair solemnly explains to Hans that many people are unhappy with the Lord's rule. Hans listens intently, his expression thoughtful and concerned. Meanwhile, Yona calmly asks Hans if she may have a moment to speak with him. Yona explains to the boy in the sailor outfit that the townsfolk's hostility stems from her father's recent tax increase 3 months ago. The boy listens intently as she clarifies the root of their anger. Yona speaks seriously to the boy in the sailor-style outfit, explaining how her father's recent tax increase and secret merchant gatherings under his roof have fueled the townsfolk's growing hostility. The boy listens thoughtfully, absorbing the weight of her words. Yona, her expression thoughtful and tinged with sadness, explains to the boy in the sailor outfit about the heavy taxes imposed on the townsfolk and the secret dealings of the merchants. The boy listens intently, absorbing her words as she reveals why her father has been unresponsive to her questions. Through the window, the quiet tension of their conversation fills the room. The boy with short dark hair in the sailor outfit asks Yona if she truly believes in the Count, and what she thinks of her father. Yona, looking determined and thoughtful, firmly affirms her belief and deep respect for her father despite her worries. Their serious conversation reveals Yona's unwavering faith in her father's character and intentions. The boy with short dark hair, wearing a sailor-style outfit, speaks earnestly to Yona, affirming his belief in her words about the Count despite their limited understanding. Yona listens attentively, her expression showing concern as she processes his trust and determination. The conversation deepens their shared resolve to uncover the truth behind the Count's actions. Overwhelmed by the weight of recent revelations, Yona breaks down in tears, her face streaked with sorrow as she cries out in anguish. The pain of betrayal and the harsh reality of her father's actions weigh heavily on her heart. Her emotional turmoil is raw and unfiltered, capturing the depth of her distress. The boy in the sailor-style outfit gently offers Yona a handkerchief, urging her not to cry and reassuring her that things will be all right. Yona, overwhelmed with emotion, wipes away her tears but feels a mix of gratitude and humiliation being comforted by someone younger. Their quiet moment captures the weight of the situation and the fragile hope between them. The boy in the sailor outfit firmly suggests to Yona that they should investigate the troubling situation together. Yona looks surprised and somewhat disbelieving at his determined proposal. Their resolve to uncover the truth begins to strengthen in this quiet moment. Our story continues with Yona listening intently as the boy in the sailor outfit confidently suggests they investigate the cause of the heavy taxes and keep an eye on whom the Count meets with. Curious but slightly worried, Yona questions how they might carry out such an investigation. The two share a determined moment, ready to uncover the truth behind the Count's secretive actions. Yona, thoughtful yet determined, agrees with the boy in the sailor-style outfit as they discuss uncovering the truth behind the Count's heavy taxes. The boy turns to the girl with curly light hair, asking if she wants to know more about the Count's circumstances. Together, they prepare to investigate the situation that has troubled their town. The boy with the sailor-style outfit insists on selling as much as possible. Even if prices rise slightly, Yona listens carefully but hesitates, unsure about the idea despite not minding it. Their conversation continues quietly in the hallway, with the village visible through the window behind them. The boy with short dark hair watches intently as the Count meets with the merchant, determined to uncover the truth behind the raised taxes. Suddenly, he notices someone approaching the room. He and Yona quietly peek from behind the door, their expressions tense and alert. Meanwhile, the young boy with curly light hair looks on, surprised and slightly worried by the unfolding situation. The boy in the sailor outfit asks Yona if she knows the merchant they observed. Yona confirms, revealing she once rode in the same carriage with him and shows a wooden tag as proof. The boy reacts with surprise upon recognizing the merchant. Yona nervously smiles as she confirms to the boy with the sailor outfit that she is indeed with him. The boy confidently tells Lady Margarite they will search for Yona's relative's house and promises to protect her. Lady Margarite calmly offers to accompany them on their journey. The boy in the sailor outfit shouts fiercely from his horse, vowing to protect Lady Margarite. Meanwhile, the older man urgently calls out to Yona, grabbing her hand to pull her along. Lady Margarite looks surprised and blushing as the tension rises around them. Yona apologizes sincerely for causing trouble, looking apologetic and slightly embarrassed. The boy in the sailor outfit complains about being dragged around so suddenly. Showing mild annoyance, nearby, a woman in a bonnet informs them that Lord Otmar will receive them in his room and tells them to proceed inside. Lady Margarite warmly greets the boy in the sailor-style outfit, waving and saying, "Hey, kid, glad you came." The boy responds hesitantly, admitting he decided to accept her kind offer. She kindly offers her help, asking what the matter is and assuring him she will assist if she can. Lady Margarite, the eldest daughter of Count Hagenberg, introduces herself to Otmar and inquires about his business dealings with her father. Otmar listens attentively, ready to respond as a merchant involved in negotiations with the Lord. The atmosphere is formal and serious, reflecting the importance of their conversation. The young boy in the sailor outfit earnestly pleads with the young man in the hat, urging him to understand Lady Margarite's reasons. The young man hesitates, reflecting deeply on the situation as he looks toward Lady Margarite, who listens with a hopeful yet concerned expression. The tension in the room reveals the weight of their conflicting feelings amid the pressing circumstances. Yona, shocked and worried, confronts the young boy in the sailor outfit about her father's sudden attempt to buy up wheat and grain. He questions if a bad harvest might be causing food shortages. But the young boy with curly hair solemnly admits he doesn't know the reason and that the Count wouldn't share it. Yona firmly denies the possibility of a poor harvest, insisting that the crop yield has been normal this year. Yona expresses her worry and confusion about her father's attempt to buy up wheat and grain, fearing the impact on market prices. The young boy in the sailor-style outfit listens seriously and suggests they ask the townsfolk for more information to understand the unusual market behavior. Together, they resolve to gather more details before drawing conclusions. The young boy with the sailor-style outfit smiles gently and reassures Yona, who looks emotional with teary eyes. He agrees softly with her, affirming her feelings as they stand together on the bustling town street. The young boy in the sailor outfit speaks with determination, mentioning that child from yesterday. Yona listens intently, her expression a mix of surprise and curiosity as she processes his words. Another boy in similar attire stands silently nearby, watching the exchange. The young boy with the sailor-style outfit anxiously asks the woman with long hair if the food laid out is all they have left. She responds with a sorrowful apology, explaining that money is tight and this is all the food remaining. The weight of their scarcity hangs heavily between them in the dimly lit room. The young boy in the sailor outfit urgently reaches out toward Yona. Calling her name, Yona, caught off guard, stares ahead with a shocked expression, clearly unsettled by the sudden gesture. The tension between them lingers in the quiet village street. Yona, tears streaming down her face, painfully realizes the harsh truth about her father's actions. Around her, the worried expressions of those nearby reflect the heavy weight of this revelation. The atmosphere is thick with sorrow and concern as the reality sinks in. The young boy in the sailor outfit calmly suggests to Yona that they should ask Lady Margarite about the heavy taxes. Yona, kneeling and holding his hands, looks concerned but hopeful as she listens to his reassuring words. Their quiet determination fills the room with a sense of cautious resolve. The young boy in the sailor outfit earnestly questions the Lord Count about serious issues with this year's harvest in the domain. Yona stands beside him, nervously supporting the inquiry. The Lord Count listens cautiously, hesitating as he begins to respond. The young boy in the sailor outfit voices his concerns about the heavy taxes and the forced frugality weighing down the people. The young man with curly light hair listens intently, surprised by the severity, and mentions that Lady Margarite is aware of the situation. Their conversation reveals the growing tension caused by the domain's struggles and the burden placed on its inhabitants. The young boy in the sailor outfit speaks earnestly to Yona, explaining that she has been diligently studying domain management out of deep respect for the Count. He emphasizes her compassion and commitment to ruling justly, hoping to ease Yona's worries. Meanwhile, Yona listens with a troubled, tearful expression, still grappling with the harsh realities they face. Yona pleads earnestly with her father, seeking to understand why he has imposed such heavy taxes on their people and expressing her wish to share in his burdens. The man, seated calmly in his study surrounded by books, reflects quietly, acknowledging that he had underestimated her maturity and insight. Their conversation reveals a deepening connection as father and daughter confront the difficult realities facing their domain. The young man with curly light hair solemnly explains to the young boy in the sailor outfit and Yona the cause of the food crisis. Severe drought in the neighboring principality of Ubern. Both listeners absorb the gravity of the situation, their expressions filled with concern. The room is tense as the true hardships behind the heavy taxes begin to surface. The young man with curly light hair solemnly explains to the boy in the sailor outfit that locusts are the cause of the current crisis. The boy listens intently, questioning why locusts would bring such devastation. Meanwhile, a small chibi version of the light-haired girl looks on curiously, as the boy continues to study old records about past droughts and locust plagues. Siegbert, with a serious expression, demands to know the true identity of the young boy in the sailor outfit. The boy nervously replies that he is just a commoner. Nearby, Yona listens quietly, her back turned toward the conversation. Siegbert reads a letter delivered by a carrier pigeon, his expression serious and focused. Behind him, the young boy in the sailor-style outfit urgently informs him that something important happened 3 days ago. The girl with long light hair watches anxiously, sensing the gravity of the news. A massive swarm of locusts descends near the border, relentlessly devouring all the crops and vegetation in their path. The devastation spreads rapidly, threatening the livelihood of the people in the domain. This ominous scene reveals the root of the food crisis that has been troubling the land. Our story continues with a tense discussion inside a noble residence. The young man with curly light hair solemnly reports that the locust swarm will reach the Hagenberg domain within a week. Possibly even sooner. Yona, kneeling nearby, reassures him that she anticipated the crisis and has already secured food supplies from merchants, while the young man places a comforting hand on her head, showing a moment of quiet support amid the looming threat. Yona anxiously voices her concern about the safety of neighboring territories despite their own land remaining secure. Her father, the Lord of Hagenberg, explains the vital importance of their fields as the region's breadbasket and the dire consequences if those crops are destroyed. Nearby, the young boy listens quietly, absorbing the gravity of the situation. The young boy in the sailor outfit firmly asks Siegbert to take him to the border where the locust swarm is expected to arrive. Siegbert, looking concerned, questions whether going there would be of any help. The boy insists that leaving immediately might allow them to reach the border before the locusts enter their domain. The young boy in the sailor outfit pleads urgently with the boy in ornate clothing, insisting there is a way to stop the locusts and begging for immediate action. Both Yona and the ornate-clothed boy listen intently, their faces marked with concern and seriousness. The tension rises as the threat of the locust swarm looms closer, demanding swift decisions. Yona pleads earnestly with her father, expressing her strong desire to help the people and accompany him. The young boy in the sailor outfit supports her plea, urging their father to allow them to assist during the crisis. Their father listens seriously, weighing their heartfelt request in the quiet room. With urgency in the air, a resolute voice commands, "All right, let's head out right away." Horses and carriages swiftly set off down the road. Riders urge to hurry and make haste as they embark on their critical journey. The tension of the past days propels them forward without delay. Yona anxiously asks if they will arrive in time to stop the locusts. The young boy with the bow calmly reassures her, explaining that the locusts are active only during the day and won't appear until morning. Their journey continues inside the carriage, hope mingling with urgency. Yona listens intently as the young boy with the dark hair expresses his gratitude for her concern about the people. His soft smile reassures her, showing a shared determination to protect those in need. The two exchange a moment of quiet understanding amid the stone-walled room. Lady Margarite, smiling with determination, reassures the young boy with short dark hair that it is the Hagenberg family's duty to protect their land. She promises to do everything in her power to ensure the safety of their people. The boy listens attentively, inspired by her resolve. The young boy, holding Yona's hands gently, confesses that he feels left out. Yona responds hesitantly, her concern evident as she tries to clarify her own feelings. Their quiet exchange reveals the emotional weight of their shared uncertainty. The young boy with the cloak confidently declares his resolve to fight the locusts alongside Lady Marguerite and the Count. Yona looks surprised by his determination, clearly moved by his courage. Meanwhile, Siegbert, seated and smirking, advises the boy to rely on him at least a little, acknowledging his enthusiasm with a knowing smile. The young boy with short dark hair looks outside the carriage window, his expression shifting from worry to surprise as he senses the wind changing. This sudden shift in the air hints at an approaching threat, heightening the tension inside the moving vehicle. The young boy with dark hair gazes out the window, his expression tense as he watches the massive black cloud of locusts advancing. Beside him, Yona's face is filled with shock and worry, realizing the swarm has already reached dangerously close. Both are gripped by the urgent threat looming over the fields outside. The young boy watches the sky intently as the locust swarm accelerates, explaining that the wind shift is driving them faster. Yona stands close by, her expression filled with concern as they both face the ominous dark cloud looming over the field. The threat of the locusts grows more urgent with every passing moment. Siegbert, with fierce determination, commands the young boy in the sailor-style outfit to fire the cannon. The boy promptly fires the large artillery, unleashing a powerful explosion toward their target. The battle intensifies as their coordinated attack begins. The young boy in the sailor outfit yells in shock, overwhelmed by the sheer number of locusts and their resistance to the cannon fire. Yona, equally distressed, stares in disbelief at the relentless swarm advancing before them. The battle's desperation grows as their efforts to repel the locusts falter. The young boy with dark hair voices his deep concern about the relentless locusts consuming their land, questioning if there might be another way to stop them. Despite never having used it before, he contemplates turning to ancient magic, though the fear of failure weighs heavily on him. Around him, Lady Margarite, Yona, and others listen intently, their faces reflecting the gravity of the crisis. The young boy stands resolutely, his cape billowing behind him as he faces the looming threat with unwavering determination. Kneeling before him, Yona looks up, surprise and concern evident in her eyes as she calls out to him, despite the danger. He declares there is no choice but to risk everything. The young boy with short dark hair focuses intently, his eyes sharp and determined as he casts a powerful spell. With a commanding gesture, he conjures a swirling vortex of wind, aiming to engulf the relentless swarm of locusts threatening their land. His resolve to protect and fight back shines through in this decisive moment. The young boy with short dark hair, cloaked and determined, shouts "Sturm!" as he casts a powerful spell, summoning a swirling magical vortex inscribed with glowing runes. His fierce expression shows his resolve to confront the overwhelming threat head-on. The spell's energy spirals outward, ready to engulf the advancing danger. Siegbert and the young boy in the sailor outfit both stare in shock as the massive swarm of locusts is violently drawn into a dark, swirling magical vortex in the sky. The unexpected power of the spell leaves them wide-eyed and astonished. The young boy with short dark hair, cloaked and focused, casts a powerful spell, conjuring a swirling magical vortex that pulls in the relentless locust swarm. His determined expression shows his resolve to control the devastating little devils threatening their land. The air crackles with energy as the vortex grows, drawing the swarm into its spiraling depths. The young boy with short dark hair stands resolute, extending his hand as he shouts, "Flam!" unleashing a powerful magical flame. Behind him, a small figure watches silently, while the fiery spell ignites the open field, intensifying the battle against the relentless swarm. The young boy with short dark hair stands resolutely, his cloak billowing as he faces a massive swirling vortex of flames and magical energy in the sky. Beside him, a small figure with light hair watches intently, witnessing the powerful spell unfolding. The raging vortex crackles with intense power, ready to engulf the locust swarm. Siegbert watches intently with a serious expression, while Yona gazes upward in awe, softly whispering, "Beautiful." Nearby, the young boy with short dark hair observes quietly, as the scene unfolds against the backdrop of a rural area with a windmill and wooden buildings. The young boy with curly light hair reaches out urgently toward Yona, his face marked by concern and sweat. Yona's tearful eye is visible, reflecting her sadness as she stands nearby in the grassy field. The moment is heavy with emotion, as he tries to offer comfort or protection. Yona's face fills the frame, her eyes glistening with tears as a faint, bittersweet smile plays on her lips. The misty, rugged backdrop hints at the aftermath of the intense magical battle unfolding nearby. In this quiet moment, her emotions reveal the weight of everything that has just transpired. Yona kneels quietly, her head bowed in a moment of deep reflection or sorrow. Nearby, the young boy with short dark hair stands silently, watching over her with a calm, contemplative presence. The peaceful landscape around them frames this tender, wordless pause between the two. The young boys cheer joyfully, celebrating the disappearance of the locust swarm and the clear blue sky now visible above. Among them, a young man with curly light hair looks relieved but still somewhat anxious. Taking in the moment, the field around them is bathed in fresh sunlight, signaling a hopeful new beginning. The young boy with short dark hair lies back on the grass, arms spread wide, a relieved smile softening his features. After the intense battle with the locust swarm, he breathes out quietly, "We did it." The blue sky finally clear above him. The weight of the moment settles as calm returns to the scene. Our story continues with the young boy lying on the grass, arms spread wide as he breathes a sigh of relief. His face, marked by a sweat drop, turns upward toward the clear sky, signaling the end of the chaos. In this quiet moment, he calls out softly, "Yona!" Yona, teary-eyed but smiling, is held gently in the arms of the young boy with short dark hair, both sharing a moment of surprise and relief. The surrounding grassy area and trees suggest they have just emerged from a tense ordeal. Praise is given to Yona for her magic that burned the locusts to ashes, bringing hope and clearing the sky. Siegbert kneels solemnly, expressing heartfelt gratitude to Jonathan Langheim for his brave efforts in saving the Hagenberg domain. Nearby, Yona watches the exchange with a surprised yet attentive gaze, while Yonatan remains calm and composed, quietly receiving the praise. The moment marks a poignant recognition of the young hero's courage. The young boy with curly light hair and two other boys in hats stand together. Watching with calm smiles, Yona beams warmly, eyes closed in happiness, while Siegbert looks confidently ahead, a slight smile on his face. Below them, Yonatan Langheim returns the gratitude with a sincere smile, thanking everyone deeply. 3 days later, the atmosphere has lightened considerably. The young boy in the sailor outfit enjoys his meal contentedly at the table, while the girl with long light hair smiles cheerfully at him. Nearby, a gentlewoman watches the scene with a pleased expression, reflecting the calm and happiness that has returned to the town. Siegbert, serious and commanding, instructs Hans to relay orders to Otmar Trading to redirect food supplies to the disaster areas. Yona beams with eagerness, expressing her happiness and willingness to work for the people of the domain. The young boy in the sailor outfit stands supportively behind her, also asking to help, while Siegbert gently advises Yona not to overexert herself. The young boy in the sailor outfit gazes quietly at Yona, who returns a gentle, heartfelt smile with her eyes closed. Their shared moment radiates a tender, unspoken connection amidst the calm atmosphere. Yona smiles warmly with her eyes closed, expressing her happiness as she suggests they stay together from now on. The young boy with short dark hair listens thoughtfully, quietly considering her heartfelt words. The peaceful outdoor setting reflects the calm after recent turmoil. The young boy lies quietly on his bed, engrossed in reading a book, a moment of calm amid his memories. Nearby, two figures with curly hair stand with their backs turned, silently observing. An older man smiles gently, his kind expression hinting at the warmth and care that once surrounded the boy during a difficult time. The young boy gazes thoughtfully at Yona as she smiles brightly, sharing her cheerful words. Around them, the peaceful village awakens under the soft morning light, hinting at the start of a new journey filled with warmth and discovery. Nearby, Siegbert and an older man observe quietly, their gentle smiles reflecting hope for what lies ahead. Siegbert gently pats Yona's head with a warm smile as Yona laughs happily, leaning close to him in a joyful moment. Yet beneath the surface, Yona lies on his bed, hand on his forehead, his expression troubled as he quietly voices concern about having only 1 year left. The contrast between their shared happiness and his inner worry reveals the weight he carries. The young boy with short dark hair sits quietly on a windowsill at night, deeply absorbed in a book. He reflects thoughtfully on his wish to one day see the legendary land described in the story. Outside, the dark forest stretches silently under the night sky. The young boy listens intently as Lady Margarite gently expresses her wish to avoid causing sadness and reflects on the pain of witnessing death openly. Their conversation unfolds quietly in a peaceful outdoor setting, underscoring the weight of their shared emotions. The young boy with short dark hair, dressed in his sailor-style outfit, concentrates intently as he writes carefully with a feather quill on a piece of paper. The quiet indoor setting emphasizes his focused and slightly melancholic mood. This moment continues his thoughtful engagement with reading and writing. Yona beams happily as she holds out her dress, sharing a joyful moment with the young man sitting nearby. The young man smiles warmly, eyes closed in contentment, clearly pleased by her cheerful spirit. Meanwhile, Dr. Gunther stands quietly in the doorway, holding a box, observing the scene with a neutral expression. Yona smiles softly with her eyes closed, radiating a peaceful and contented aura. Nearby, the young boy with short dark hair holds a letter on the table, the quiet moment underscored by the candlelight and ink bottle. The calm atmosphere suggests a tender pause amid their unfolding story. The young boy in the sailor outfit calmly begins to speak, saying, "With this?" Suddenly, his expression shifts to shock as he falls forcefully to the ground, his hand hitting the floor with impact. The tense moment fills the dimly lit room with an unsettling silence. The young boy with short dark hair clutches a small bottle of medicine tightly, his face contorted with desperation and tears streaming down. He gasps out a medicine as he collapses forward onto the table, struggling to stay conscious amid his distress. The room is scattered with medicine bottles and packages, emphasizing the urgency of his condition. The young boy in the sailor-style outfit curls up tightly, sweat beading on his face as he desperately pleads to keep going, terrified of the thought of dying now. His eyes wide with fear, he clutches himself, his voice trembling with urgency and vulnerability. Siegbert sits thoughtfully, covering his mouth as he reflects on how strange Yona is. Nearby, villagers and guards search around a stone building, unable to find Yona's relative's house. Meanwhile, Yona solemnly casts a powerful spell, incinerating a swarm of locusts, aware of the looming threat of a locust plague. A servant quietly delivers a letter on a tray to Lady Margarite, who receives it with a curious and slightly surprised expression. As she reads the contents, her thoughtful gaze deepens, hinting at the letter's unexpected significance. The moment suggests a new development, possibly concerning a mysterious child or a proposal. Yona beams with excitement as she calls out, announcing that she has a gift. Her joyful expression fills the room, hinting at a heartfelt moment about to unfold. The young boy with short dark hair stands quietly, gazing out over the medieval town with its stone buildings and towering spires. His back is turned, lost in thought as he contemplates the scene before him. The peaceful street view contrasts with the weight of recent events. Yona looks ahead with calm determination, expressing a heartfelt wish for Lady Margarite's well-being. In the distance, a covered wagon moves steadily along a road through open fields and rolling hills, symbolizing their ongoing journey. The young boy with short dark hair stands determined on a forest path, eagerly expressing his excitement about finally seeing the sea and his resolve to keep moving forward. From the edge of the panel, a voice urgently calls out to him, trying to catch his attention. The scene captures a moment of hopeful anticipation amid their journey. Siegbert grabs the young boy with dark hair firmly by the shoulder, shouting at him with fierce urgency, demanding if he wants to die. The boy stands shocked and wide-eyed, caught off guard by the sudden confrontation. Below them, Yona looks on with a worried expression, clearly concerned by the tense exchange. Our story begins with a quiet moment in a nighttime garden, where Lady Margarite, wearing a gentle smile, listens attentively. The young boy in a maid outfit softly tells her that it is time to rest, their conversation underscored by the peaceful glow of a shooting star above. This tender scene from 11 years ago hints at care and concern amidst a serene setting. The woman gently cradles a crying baby wrapped in a blanket, her expression tender yet weary as she coughs softly. Nearby, an older man watches with a serious gaze, underscoring the fragile state of the newborn and the need for careful care this winter. The quiet room, with curtains drawn back to reveal a garden, holds a somber atmosphere as they attend to Lady Marte and her child. The young man with short dark hair clasps Yona's hands tightly, his face filled with worry as he pleads earnestly. Yona, tearful and fragile, looks up at him with a weak, hopeful expression. In this tender moment, he implores her to take care and stay strong. Siegbert, his face twisted with anger, shouts sharply at the young boy in the cloak, demanding why the fool has still not been found. The boy looks worried and confused, unable to provide an answer. Tension fills the room as Siegbert's frustration grows. Siegbert holds Yona's hand gently but with a serious expression, reflecting on the heavy burden of raising Jonathan Langheim and the unforgivable act that took Marte's life. Nearby, Jonathan Langheim sits quietly on a bed, absorbed in a book, while a gravestone adorned with flowers stands solemnly, symbolizing loss and remembrance. In the corner, a stern young man watches intently, the weight of the past hanging heavily in the room. In a serious discussion, the young boy with dark hair speaks thoughtfully about the importance of marriage arrangements and Sieg's role as the next head of the family. Lady Margarite calmly advises him to focus on Sieg rather than worry about the child. Nearby, an older man listens intently, emphasizing that marriage alliances are crucial for elevating the family's status and inquiring if there is a suitable match in mind. Hagenberg stands in the doorway, his expression filled with worry as he asks Lady Margarite how she is feeling. Sitting on the bed, Margarite responds calmly, reassuring her father that there is no need to worry. Their conversation reflects the ongoing concern over Yona's whereabouts. Yona holds a letter in her hand, her expression thoughtful and slightly surprised as she reads aloud, "I see, father." Nearby, Siegbert listens seriously, his gaze contemplative as the weight of the message settles between them. The letter reveals a marriage arrangement from Duke Langheim, naming Siegbert as the next head of the family. Lady Margarite firmly declares she has no intention of marrying anyone, standing resolute in her decision. The young man in the sailor-style outfit questions her, asking if she will regret such a choice. The tension between them fills the formal room as their serious conversation unfolds. Siegbert calmly addresses Lady Margarite, remarking on her decision to give up on marrying Yona and questioning Yona's suitability. Lady Margarite reacts with visible shock and disbelief at his blunt words. The tense conversation unfolds quietly in the room, heavy with unspoken emotions. Lady Margarite nervously confesses her desire to marry Yona, her cheeks flushed with emotion. The young man listens calmly but questions whether a letter is truly necessary, seeking reassurance about the decision. Their conversation carries the weight of important intentions in a formal setting. Siegbert smiles confidently as he urges Lady Margarite to prepare herself for Yona's return, filled with determination. Margarite responds enthusiastically, promising to keep Yona close by her side. Their warm exchange reveals their shared hope and dedication for the future. The young boy with the sailor-style outfit gratefully thanks Carlo for saving him. Carlo, driving a horse carriage through the forest, explains that the carriage is protected by monster-repelling charms and reassures the boy they will reach their destination soon. The boy smiles with relief, comforted by Carlo's words. The young boy with the hood happily gathers firewood and brings it to the campfire, where Siegbert gently lights the flames. Together, they roast food on sticks over the warm fire, settling into their forest campsite for the night. The young boy with short dark hair happily eats food on a skewer by the campfire, expressing his gratitude to Siegbert for the meal. Siegbert smiles gently and asks if the food tastes good, clearly pleased with the boy's enjoyment. The warm scene highlights a moment of comfort and kindness during their outdoor night. Siegbert suddenly lunges forward, swinging his sword aggressively at the young boy with the dark hair. The boy, caught off guard with a food skewer still in his mouth, reacts with wide-eyed shock and surprise. The tense confrontation unfolds in a dim, broken floor setting, heightening the unexpected attack. Siegbert, his expression serious and concerned, warns Yona about enemies swarming nearby. He urges her firmly not to leave his side as they face the dangers lurking in the dark forest. Yona listens attentively, worry evident in her eyes. The young boy, visibly nervous and worried, responds hesitantly with a shaky yes as two large, snarling magic beasts approach aggressively, flames flickering around one of them. He contemplates the danger, weighing the risks of using ancient magic while trying to avoid provoking the threatening creatures. The tension rises as the beasts close in, forcing him to carefully consider his next move. Carlo strikes the large wolf-like beast swiftly with his sword, his expression fierce and determined. The young boy watches in amazement, clearly impressed by Carlo's unexpectedly fast and skillful attacks. Carlo voices his disdain for the beast, revealing a surprising side beyond his merchant appearance. Carlo smiles confidently as he pats the young boy's head, teasing him gently about being dazzled by his own strength. He offers food on skewers, encouraging the boy to eat, who nervously but affirmatively responds to the kind gesture. The warm moment by the campfire shows Carlo's supportive nature toward the boy. As they sit quietly by the campfire, the young boy with the sailor-style outfit tells Yona that they will be out of the forest by the next day. Yona, looking tired and thoughtful, responds softly with a quiet indicating her weariness but understanding. The night in the forest slowly gives way to the promise of a new day ahead. The young boy with short dark hair bursts out with a joyful shout, clearly thrilled by the breathtaking view of the coastal city bathed in sunlight. Carlo stands nearby, smiling confidently as they take in the scene together, the seagulls soaring overhead adding to the lively atmosphere. The young boy in the sailor-style outfit looks puzzled as the townsfolk warmly greet him with the honorific Your Highness, leaving him to wonder what the title truly means. Nearby, the confident young man with curly light hair, known as Prince Carlo, receives admiring praise from two smiling young women. The bustling market street of Benedia is filled with joyful welcomes and respectful recognition of the prince. Carlo greets Yona warmly, welcoming her to the kingdom of Benedia. With a confident smile, he introduces himself as Carlo Margarite Benedia, the crown prince. The grand palace behind him emphasizes the importance of this moment. Carlo, the crown prince, confidently instructs the young boy to take good care of Yona and to take it easy. The man in the vest warmly welcomes Carlo home and informs him that the king is waiting. The young boy responds attentively, acknowledging Carlo's orders as they stand in an ornate hall. Priscilla and Aurora, two attentive maids, warmly assure Lord Yona that they will take good care of him. Yona stands quietly, while a young boy in a cloak looks back at them from a distance. The scene is set in an ornate palace hallway, signaling Yona's arrival to a new place where he is being welcomed and supported. Lord Yona, surprised and excited, eagerly invites them to follow him, exclaiming, "Wow!" As he leads the way. Priscilla, the young woman in the maid dress, calmly questions him about her duties with Lord Federico and cleaning her room. Another maid stands silently beside Priscilla, observing the exchange in the grand room with large windows. The young man gently informs Lord Yona that a bath and dinner are ready, showing attentive care. Meanwhile, two maids beam affectionately at Lord Yona, one expressing a strong desire to hug him and praising his charm. Lord Yona responds with a happy, delighted smile, clearly touched by their warmth. Carlo warmly welcomes the young boy, spreading his arms wide as he expresses how long he has been waiting. The boy, eyes sparkling with excitement, marvels at the lavish spread of food before him. Nearby, two maids watch quietly, adding to the atmosphere of a grand and heartfelt reception. Yona respectfully addresses Siegbert as Your Highness, but he gently tells her not to be so formal and invites her to share more about herself. Meanwhile, The young woman in the maid dress asks the young boy where Carlo was coming from before returning here, and he responds simply, "Ah, okay." The scene takes place around a dining table set for a meal, with a calm and welcoming atmosphere. The young boy with short dark hair, still feeling full, admits he ate too much as he sits down. Soon after, he suggests taking a little walk to stretch his legs. Rising from his seat, he begins to stroll through the grand hallway lined with towering bookshelves and elegant columns. The young boy with the cloak asks Carlo if it is possible to mass-produce weapons. Carlo thoughtfully replies that it would take at least a year and wonders if their craftsmen can match the Empire's advanced level. Meanwhile, the person in the lab coat notes the Empire's superior techniques and suggests they must make do with their current resources. Our story continues as the young boy with short dark hair, cloaked and anxious, covers his mouth in shock, fearing the consequences of discussing mass-produced weapons and dealings with the Empire. Suddenly, Carlo, the young man with curly light hair and ornate clothing, appears in the room, his expression serious and surprised, signaling a tense and important moment. Carlo greets Yona warmly, teasing him about almost being mistaken for a spy. Yona, holding a cloth, responds with a hint of curiosity and promises to show Carlo something cool inside. Carlo gestures toward the room, inviting him to come in. The young boy reacts with shock and worry as he questions the maid about the magic tool cannon and the possibility of starting a war. The serious young man beside him acknowledges the boy's keen observation and confirms their plan to use the cannon to defeat a formidable enemy. Nearby, the maid stands calmly by the large covered cannon, underscoring the gravity of the situation. The young boy anxiously voices his fears about the looming threat of war, his worry evident in his expression. The light-haired young man gently reassures him with a warm smile, explaining that it's just a joke and they aren't actually starting a war. To comfort the boy, he pats his head, easing the tension between them. The young man with light hair and horn-like accessories solemnly explains to the boy that the enemy they face is the guardian god of the Central Sea. But in truth, it is their adversary, not a protector. The boy reacts with surprise and confusion, questioning why they would target such a revered figure. A terrifying sea monster suddenly attacks, capsizing a fishing boat under the moonlit sky. The older man and younger sailor aboard the boat react with shock and fear as their vessel is overturned. This monstrous threat first appeared 6 months ago, sparking a naval investigation into the mysterious assaults on local fishermen. A massive dragon-like sea monster lunges fiercely at the ships, its sharp teeth bared as it capsizes them in the open sea. The young man in uniform urgently shouts orders to fall back and retreat, while the young man with the feathered hat looks on with shock and worry. The sudden attack throws the fleet into chaos, confirming the grave danger they face. A powerful explosion tears through the open sea, shattering the fishing boat and sending it crashing into the water. The vessel breaks apart violently, overwhelmed by an unseen destructive force. Chaos erupts as the boat capsizes amidst the turbulent waves. The young man with light hair clenches his fist and swears a fierce oath to kill the so-called guardian god and avenge his fallen comrades. His intense determination cuts through the stormy chaos of the sea, where monstrous tentacles rise from the turbulent waves. The weight of loss fuels his resolve as the battle against this terrifying enemy rages on. The young man confidently holds the powerful magic cannon called Judgment Fire, explaining its devastating capabilities and the military secrecy surrounding it. The young boy reacts with shock and disbelief, questioning how such a weapon was acquired. This moment reveals a crucial new weapon in their fight against the monstrous threat. The young man with light hair confidently explains to the concerned boy that the magic device was originally made by a noble but secretly diverted to him, and that it was overcharged. The boy listens intently, absorbing the gravity of this revelation. Their conversation takes place in an ornate room, adding weight to the secretive nature of the discussion. The young boy listens in shock as Jonathan Langheim reveals that the Duke of Langheim was behind the creation and diversion of the magic cannon. The gravity of the betrayal sinks in, leaving the boy stunned. Jonathan solemnly assures him that he has told everything. The young man with light hair confidently challenges the boy with dark hair, questioning his true identity and hinting that he is of noble blood rather than a commoner. The boy responds thoughtfully, insisting it wouldn't be fair if he were the only one to remain silent. The tension between them grows as secrets about status and power begin to surface. Jonathan Langheim solemnly reveals to the young man with light hair that he is the eldest son of House Langheim, unveiling his true noble identity. The young man responds with a knowing smile, acknowledging the surprising revelation. Jonathan's expression shifts to one of surprise, underscoring the weight of his confession. The young man with light hair questions Yona about why he is hiding his true status. Calm and sincere, Yona reveals that he has left the Langheim family behind and discarded his former name, now going simply by Yona. This quiet confession marks a clear break from his noble past. The young man with light hair and ornate clothing apologizes sincerely to Yona for doubting her. Admitting he mistook her for an imperial agent, Yona, surprised and defensive, questions if he truly is, Your Highness. The serious young woman in the maid outfit firmly commands him to withdraw his statement, standing up for Yona's rightful status. Prince Carlo confidently tells Yona that he will be popular with girls when he grows up, causing the young boy to react with shock and disbelief. However, two serious maids quickly counter, insisting that Lord Yona is already extremely popular and won't need to worry about future popularity. The room fills with a mix of amusement and earnestness as they discuss Yona's charm. Yona beams with excitement as he gazes out over the ship's deck, marveling at the vast sea before him. Prince Carlo stands nearby, smiling gently and sharing in the awe of the moment. The young boy with the cloak watches quietly from behind, taking in the scene. Prince Carlo orders the young boy to throw a buoy into the water and to steer the ship hard to port. The boy salutes seriously before carrying out the command, showing their readiness to follow the captain's instructions. The ship is actively maneuvering under Prince Carlo's focused leadership. The young man with light hair confidently orders the boy with dark hair and glasses to adjust the aim of the massive magic cannon, known as Judgment Fire. The boy focuses intently, carefully aligning the cannon to target a buoy floating 100 meters ahead. Their goal is clear: to bring down the looming guardian god. The cannon roars as it fires a powerful shot, sending a massive splash into the water ahead. The battle at sea intensifies with precise artillery strikes targeting the buoy. The crew watches intently, awaiting the next move. Prince Carlo rallies the soldiers with a passionate speech, urging them to unleash the Judgment Fire and avenge their fallen comrades by defeating the guardian god. The troops respond with enthusiastic cheers and raised fists, their spirits lifted by his determination. Meanwhile, Yona watches with a mix of surprise and awe, clearly moved by the inspiring call to battle. A massive dragon-like sea monster fiercely attacks the ship, its sharp teeth and horns menacingly close. Prince Carlo stands confidently, rallying the crew with a determined smile, urging them to defeat the guardian god and avenge their fallen comrades. Nearby, young soldiers cheer and raise their fists, fueled by his inspiring words, while Yona watches solemnly, contemplating the fierce battle ahead. Yona, with a determined expression, asks Prince Carlo if he can join the mission to subjugate the guardian god. Prince Carlo, surprised and serious, questions whether Yona truly understands the gravity of what he's asking. The tension builds as they stand together on the ship's deck, facing the looming challenge ahead. Yona earnestly pleads with Prince Carlo, begging to be allowed to use his ancient magic to help in the battle. Prince Carlo stands firm, eyes closed and resolute, refusing to send a child into such a deadly situation. Despite Yona's determination, the prince's answer is a clear and protective no. The young man with dark hair greets Prince Carlo warmly, asking for a report on the test firing results for the king. Prince Carlo responds confidently that the test went well and they are ready to avenge their fallen comrades. Meanwhile, the young boy Yona listens attentively as the young man conveys that His Majesty the King wishes to meet him. Crown Prince Carlo kneels respectfully before the older man wearing a crown and ornate robes, who calmly apologizes for his informal attire. The royal chamber's atmosphere is solemn yet warm as the king acknowledges Carlo's arrival. This moment marks the formal reception of the prince, underscoring his honorable status. Crown Prince Carlo stands confidently, declaring his resolve to leave no enemy alive and praising the power of the empire's magic device. The older man with the crown, likely his father, warns him not to let his guard down and acknowledges receiving the report. Carlo then tells the young boy in the cloak to stay alert and call on him if anything happens, as he waits by the door. An older man with a crown gently advises Yona to care for Carlo not merely as a servant, but as a true friend. Yona listens intently, absorbing the weight of this heartfelt counsel in the quiet, noble chamber. Carlo solemnly reflects on his father's limited time left, sharing his serious thoughts with Yona. Calm and attentive, Yona acknowledges the weight of the moment with a simple, steady, okay. The quiet gravity of their conversation fills the grand room. Prince Carlo stands resolute, declaring to Yona his firm resolve to protect the country his father cherishes and to bring down the guardian god. Yona listens intently, his serious expression reflecting the weight of the moment. The determination in Prince Carlo's eyes underscores the urgency of their mission. Prince Carlo, his face set with fierce determination, vows to avenge his fallen comrades. Nearby, the young boy with the dark cloak gazes pensively out the window, absorbing the weight of the promise made. The night outside mirrors the gravity of their resolve. The young boy with short dark hair, wearing a buttoned shirt and pants, struggles to crawl forward on the wooden floor, grimacing in pain. He reaches out desperately towards something off-panel, likely medicine, behind him. Another boy in similar clothes reproaches him for giving up and urges him to keep going, reminding him he should have stayed with the girl.